We're live now. Namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining Hindi University. My name is Ashutosh. As you know, we meet every Sunday, 9 a.m. US Eastern, and we learn Hindi language. And we practice various topics in Hindi language. And in this class, my goal is exactly the same. Uh, you know, Last class we picked up on a particular topic. It's a very important post position in Hindi called ko. Okay, repeat after me, ko. In this class, we will continue to do that, and we'll continue to finish this topic. Last class we looked at how to use this postposition with some of the very popular pronouns and make it like a personal pronoun. So if you remember, we looked at the use case of like मैं. Okay, मैं is nothing but I, but when you add को with it, it means मुझे, or the other way, which is known as mujhko. Okay, so we looked at about four types of sentences where you can use mujhe and mujhko. Okay, in this class we'll look at five more scenarios. Okay, that will give you enough scenarios so that you can master the use of mujhe or mujhko. Okay, as always, you can always ask questions on Facebook as well as on Google Hangout. Just continue to give me your feedback if the audio is good. I always encourage the participation. So the more you participate, the more I get to know, whether you're able to get the concepts or not. Okay, so that's always kind of encouraged. So let's get going. I'm gonna give you a quick review of what four scenarios we covered in the last class. Okay, just so that everyone is on the same page. We spoke about in the last class that co, it roughly translates to two in Hindi. Okay, when you talk about मैं, you are saying I. Okay, I. When you're talking about mine in English, in Hindi it would be मेरा, मेरी, or मेरे. Okay, but the question is like, what about to me? Okay, what about to me? Like that something is happening to me, or a fever is coming to me. Okay, all those kind of scenarios. Even though in English you will say I have fever. Okay, what about that? So whenever you are coming across that, you will be using ko with your pronoun. So in that case, you will be using mujhe or mujhko. So that's a quick refresher about what do we really mean by ko. Now the four sentences we covered in the last class, I'm gonna write them down so you have it ready for you. Okay. So the first type one was when we said मुझको or मुझे, and you said something चाहिए. Okay, मुझे, and then you write some object and you say चाहिए. Liz, you want to give it a try? You remember what it means and how to use it?
मुझे chocolate चाहिए.
The chocolate चाहिए. Very good. So that was type one. The second one was when you like something, right? And you say मुझे something, and then you say पसंद है. Liz, you want to try another one?
हाँ हाँ मुझे ice cream पसंद है.
Very good, right? मुझे आइसक्रीम पसंद है. You are on fire today, huh?
I know these. I like these.
Yeah. So the third one is basically when you have some bodily condition, right? You have a pain or stomach ache or something like that, right? Then you say मुझे dash, and then you say है. And in this case, you spoke about some condition. Liz, you want to try that?
Mhm. So would it be मुझे सर दर्द है?
Right. मुझे सिर दर्द है. I have a headache, right? I mean, that's right.
हाँ,
Exactly right. मुझे fever है. मुझे बुखार है. मुझे stomach ache है और पेट दर्द है. Absolutely right. You
अच्छा.
know, Now the fourth one, when you have information about certain things, then also you can use it. When you know some information, right? So then you can say मुझे मालूम है, or you can say मुझे पता है. Okay, so pata or malum. Okay, so I'm gonna write it here, pata, and the second one I have it here is malum. When you have information about something, okay. Um, for example, I don't know if you saw yesterday's or last week's class. I asked Anyash ji, Ghana ki capital kya hai? You want to try it? Answer in Hindi, Liz.
Say it again. The capital
गाना
of what?
गाना की कैपिटल क्या है?
Ah, मुझे गाना की capital मालूम नहीं है.
मालूम, very good, right? Or you can say मुझे गाना की कैपिटल पता नहीं है. Awesome. That exactly was the intent to respond in Hindi, and you successfully did that. Okay, so that was the fourth scenario we tried. I think we tried one more towards the end, and we kind of completed the class. And the fifth one was if you want to use it for abstract noun. Okay, मुझे, and then you say dash hai. And abstract nouns are things like hope, proud, or like love, hope, faith, worry. Okay, so that's when you use it, right? So you say मुझे hope hai, or you can say उम्मीद है. Okay, that I have hope. That's an abstract noun. That's also when you can use मुझे. Okay, so these are the five scenarios we tried and in the last class, and we after that we did a scenario, and it was like a conversational scenario. Okay, so pretty much the format remains the same. We will do some more scenario. This time it will be a little bit complicated. Okay, so I want you to go through it mentally, as I written it. Just go through it one more time so they kind of like stick with you. Okay, and then I'm excited about the next type of scenarios that we have to cover. Let me quickly see if there are any questions. मुझे गर्व है, मुझे उम्मीद है. I think that's exactly is the case. Hanadi ji, मुझे पता है. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's keep going now. So now we'll be talking about scenario number 6 or type number 6 here. Okay, now in this one, number 6 is basically when you used to describe some internal compulsion. Okay, when you want to describe some internal compulsion. Now don't worry about the heavy words here. What we really mean is like, imagine if you have to say something like, oh my god, I have to go to work. Okay, how do you say that? Okay, I have to do this thing. I have to do. I have to do this. Okay, or something like I have to go to work. Liz, do you use any of those sentences on a day-to-day basis? Forget about the Hindi. Forget about the Hindi translation or how to say it in Hindi. But
Okay.
tell me,
Yeah,
when would you say something like this?
sure. I have to pick up my son from school.
Okay, I have to pick up. Okay, what else? Where else?
I have to buy groceries.
I have to buy groceries. Okay, it's
Uh-huh.
in the evening. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Um, I have to make the food.
I have to make the food. Okay, very good.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. So now let's come back to how do you say that in Hindi? Let's start with very simple. I have to do. I have to do this.
The have to. I'm not sure how to say that part.
Okay. Let's say if you were to with the knowledge that you have right now in Hindi, what are the some of the possibilities? I have to do work. Let me use a proper verb so that it will be easy. Okay, let's break it down. How to say
Ready?
to do.
Karne.
Very good, right? So the
Okay.
word is karna. Karna is to do. Okay. Um, what what's the topic today?
To say, I have to pick up Kyle from school.
Okay, the post position. What's the main post position that
Oh,
we?
ko.
Oh, okay.
Ko.
What pronoun today?
So Mujko,
मुझको.
then
Very good.
to
मुझको.
me, I have to.
Okay. मुझे और मुझको. Okay. Now, what's the object?
Is the work, the com.
Okay. मुझको काम, and काम you looked at it as a work, right? Now, how do you end it? मुझको काम करना.
That's the have to, the obligation.
So, okay. So that part is sort of covered in mujhe. I have to do this thing. Okay. So, you know, you don't really have to create a
Oh,
separate like a phrase for it. The fact that you have mujhe, it sort of covers it. So how do you end it? What's the to be form of the verb that you'll be using towards the end?
just hey.
Awesome, right? So you will say मुझको काम करना है और मुझे काम करना है. Now this is a slightly difficult topic which we have not done before because as you can see that the to is used only with the verb to do, and the verb is being used here in the infinitive form. Okay, infinitive form. Now there's no separate to which will help you translate this thing to mujhe. But that's why we covered this scenario as like internal compulsion, where you have some compulsion to do something, right? That's when you say mujhe kaam karna hai. Okay, so think of it as like I have is roughly translated into mujhe. Okay, and really what you did here is like you looked at the formula. You looked at the subject here. Okay, which you have it as mujhe. Okay, and you looked at your calm is your object. Okay, and then you spoke about verb sov, right? So mujhe kaam karna hai. Okay, and that's exactly what we should be doing for more scenarios. So now my ask here is like, Liz, if you have to say other sentences, right? So let me write your other sentences first, and then I want you to continue to practice this thing. So your the other two pieces will be fill in the blank. मुझे object verb है. Okay. Now you tell me what should I write. I have to.
I have to cook dinner.
Okay. Very good. Right. I have to cook. So now that you mentioned it, I want everyone else to practice it with me. I want everyone else to kind of like take a pause, use this formula where you have मुझे and then you're ending it with है. You have to write the object and you have to write the verb. Okay, and the verb has to be in the infinitive form. So let me give everyone the opportunity before we jump to the answer. Okay, so Hanadi ji, you are absolutely right when you say मुझे काम करना है, that I have to do work. When you say मुझे काम करना चाहिए, it really means I should work. Okay, I should work. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you said मुझे दफ्तर जाना है, I have to go to work. Okay, awesome. So let's see how to write it now. You want to give it a try, Liz?
Sure. Mujhe dinner pakana hai.
Very good, right? So mujhe dinner is you. For the simplicity sake, you say mujhe dinner, or you can even say khana. And to cook in Hindi is
Is that pakana?
पकाना, very good, right? मुझे dinner पकाना है. Okay. Now let's say you don't know the verb for, to cook. Okay, and you have to use just the default verb, to do with, with the English words. How would you use that?
I would say मुझे dinner cook करना है.
Very good, right? मुझे dinner cook करना है. Awesome, right? Awesome. So now let's keep going. We'll do a little bit more practice on it, and then we'll move to the scenario number 7. Okay. So now I'm gonna give you guys some more examples here, and then so you have more like I have to buy. So okay. So let's say now you have to translate this as a homework. I have to buy groceries. Okay, that's your sentence number one. I have to buy groceries. The second one I have is um, I have to drink water. I have to drink. Okay, and the third one I have here is uh, I have to go to market. I have to go to the market. So that's basically the three sentences you have to say it in Hindi using the format we discussed. Um, for folks who are watching on the live YouTube streaming, I mean, there are plenty of people, but you should also participate, okay? And you also have access to the comments on YouTube. So definitely write it in the comments. I really look at all of them. So while you're watching it on the streaming, I want you to kind of like participate. So let's take a quick pause to see if so that people have the opportunity to read it. Okay, Sharon ji, very good. Annie also. Okay, awesome. So now let's keep going. So the first one, I have to buy groceries. I have, some people on Facebook already answering it, which is basically, okay, Chrissy says, मुझे groceries, you know, to buy is, what is to buy? Liz,
I don't know it. It starts with KH.
right?
Ka.
Okay. How do you ask it using a formula?
Ah. हिंदी को
Hindi,
क्या चुबाई करते हैं?
okay. हिंदी में to buy को क्या कहते हैं? It may sound a little bit awkward to the person listening to because they're not used to it. Okay. Hindi में to buy को क्या कहते हैं, right? I mean, but the verb here is खरीदना.
खरीद.
Okay, खरीदना. Okay. Now, groceries is considered feminine. Okay, a feminine plural. Now try it. I have to buy groceries.
मुझे groceries खरीदने हैं.
मुझे groceries.
So you said feminine plural, so I'm going to say खरीदती है.
No. So it's
No,
in,
no.
yeah.
खरीदना.
Na is like for masculine, right? मुझे laptop
Ah,
खरीद.
खरीदनी है.
Very good, right? So when I say I have to buy a laptop, it'll be मुझे laptop खरीदना है. Okay. When I say I have to buy a car, मुझे car खरीदनी है. Okay. If I'm buying
अच्छा.
groceries, it's a feminine plural. So I'll say, as you said, मुझे groceries खरीदनी है. A lot of people on Facebook Live said the same thing. Hanati, Chrissy, Sharon ji, they reflected on the same thing. मुझे groceries खरीदनी है. Okay.
अच्छा.
The verb will be खरीदनी. Now let's move to the next one. I have to drink water.
मुझे पानी पीना है.
मुझे पानी पीना है. Now the verb is to drink is pina.
Pina.
That's right. Now next one. I have to go to the market.
मुझे दुकान को जाना है.
मुझे दुकान को जाना है और मुझे दुकान जाना है. I mean, दुकान is really the shop, but market, the loose word here is bazaar. You can say that. Bazaar is also sort of
बाजार.
like English, right? But it's very commonly used. बाजार जाना है. Actually, it's only one. मुझे बाजार जाना है. Okay. All right. So that's basically scenario number 6. You can pretty much, use it in many cases. Like, I have to clean the house. मुझे घर साफ करना है और मुझे, roof replace करना है. I mean, all those complicated scenarios that you have to do, that's where you can use this thing. Uh, so the idea here is like really think about on your day-to-day scenarios, like where you have some internal compulsion, and then instead of using them in your native language, if you especially if you're practicing Hindi, start saying it in Hindi. So that way at least you're forcing yourself um, to practice. Okay. Now let's move on. Now we'll do scenario number 7, where you want to basically order something. Scenario number 7 is basically when you need to order something, or when you're ordering. Let me erase it first. When you're giving order, giving giving someone order. So scenarios like give me the book, give me the book. Now in the sentence you can see that throughout the sentence there is no to, right? So it can be really tricky if you really are translating word by word. That's not how it works. Okay. Now what about like other scenarios like give me dinner, or you know give me water, or sweet, anything, right? I mean that you want to really um, demand for. How do you say these things? Okay, when you want to order. uh, Before I jump to the solutioning part of it, let's just talk about in general, when will you use these kind of sentences, and how do you usually express that. Liz, you want to give some scenarios? Forget about Hindi right now.
Sure, sure. So at a restaurant, when you say, "Give me 3 tacos,"
Okay, give me free tacos. Okay, very good. Where else?
um, if you're cooking together, or actually, if your kids want to go in the other room and get something, you say, "Give me this."
Give me this. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. So you basically use these kind of sentences, right? It's pretty common.
very common.
Okay, very good. Um, Now let's talk about how to say them in Hindi, right? That's an important one. You want to give it a try? The first one, give me the book.
मुझको मुझको किताब is it लेना है.
Okay, give me. Okay, so मुझको किताब. Um, Try it one more time.
So it's लेना. Is it
Lena is
is that to give or to take?
to take.
To take.
Yeah. To give
So
is Lena. Okay.
देना.
Hmm. So interestingly, you will say मुझको किताब दो. Okay.
दो.
Because it's you are receiving it, right? When you say ko, you're receiving something, right? So मुझको किताब दो. Okay. Similarly, when you are ordering khana, or you say मुझको खाना दो. Okay. Or you can say मुझको पानी दो, or मुझको
अच्छा.
मिठाई do. Okay. Okay. When something is not clear, you will say, or when you're pointing towards something, an object or something, you can say, "Give me this." How do you say this in Hindi?
Is.
Okay. Try it one more time. Just this. Uh, there's no
Is
push.
cheese? That's kind of stuff or things.
This and that, these and
Oh
those.
yeah.
So you will say,
Yeah.
"Mujhko." Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, right? "Mujhko yeh do." Okay, and that will be absolutely correct. Okay. Um, Now, going back to your sentence, if you want to say, "Give me free tacos," how do you say that?
Muchko teen tacos do.
"Mujhko teen tacos do." Okay. Somehow I heard free tacos, which is what I would like to hear, right? So, "Mujhko free tacos do," right? I mean, so you can say that. Sharon ji, absolutely right. "Mujhko pani do." "Mujhko yeh pustak do." Very good. Give me this particular book, which is what Hannah D mentioned. Um, Now, Chrissy said, "Mujhe pani do." Now, so we are using do to order. If you want to be respectful, you can say "dijiye," which is correct, right? Um, awesome. So I'm really glad to see so many, great participation on the Facebook side. Where else? Before we move on, I want to give some more time on this one. Where else can you use it? Now, this time, think about the scenario. Don't try to translate in English. Just say it in Hindi. Liz.
I'm trying to think. I can think of things that I would ask that I would ask for.
Human being, it's our nature to ask for things.
Yes.
Think about
Yes.
hypothetical scenarios now.
Um, मुझको अपनी जूते दो.
Very good, right? मुझको अपने जूते, जूते is
Shoes.
okay. So give me your shoes. Okay. What else? Very good. See, when you force yourself, new things come, right? I mean, so keep trying. And so is for everyone else.
Uh,
Keep trying.
मुझको phone दो.
मुझको phone do. Very good.
मुझको camera दो.
मुझको खाना दो. Okay. Now try to change the pronoun. Okay. Instead of मुझको, can you try something else?
मुझे
So instead of मैं, like let's say you're talking about him or her. Okay. Um, for example, उसको
ah,
उसको जूते दो. Give him shoes. Okay. Give her shoes. Okay. उनको phone दो. Give them phone. So that's what I mean.
sure. आपको और खाना दो.
Okay. So you're trying to say आपको आपको. Okay. So so if you are really pointing it to someone, right? That
Huh?
give him the food.
Uh-huh.
Then you can say give him. So उनको और उसको
Ah,
आना दो. Okay. You
अच्छा.
can really ask someone what do you want? How do you say that? I mean, I know it's slightly different, but I'm trying to come back to your sentence. When you're trying to say something like what do you want?
Ah, उसको
No, what do you want? आपको
ah, आपको चाहिए.
आपको and then what is?
क्या
Very good.
क्या चाहिए.
Very good. आपको क्या चाहिए? Right? That's when you say आपको क्या चाहिए. And then if the person says मुझको खाना चाहिए, right? Then you can order someone, let's say you're the facilitator, right? You can say उसको खाना दो. Give him the food because he's hungry. So you figured out who is hungry, okay, and you figured out who is fulfilling that need, you are basically connecting the.
sometimes sometimes mothers give you more food even if they don't ask you if you want more food.
That's right. So very good. Right. You want to try more with the other type of pronouns?
Ah, unco flowers do.
Unko flowers do. Very good, right? Unko flowers do. Okay. Awesome. So this is your scenario number 7 when you're giving someone order. Now, similarly, there's one more scenario which is very important. And even though the construct will remain the same, but the in English it's totally different. Okay, so I'm gonna erase it. And towards the end, we have a scenario. So stay tuned with me, and we'll have a you know full scenario here. So now this one is when you want to make it possible for someone to do something. Okay, so this type of sentences are when you want to 8 make it possible for uh, someone to do something. Now you might say, what the heck is this, right? I mean, it's such a long sentence, it doesn't really make sense. But think of scenario as like, let me eat. Okay, let me eat or let me sleep. You are really enabling or making it, making someone do something, right? So scenario is like, it may be possible in this case that the person is feeling that he's not being allowed to eat, and he's like, what, don't give me too many instructions, let me just eat. Okay, or let me just focus, you are just distracting me. Okay, my mom, as a kid, like as a kid, I don't know what was going on in my head, but whenever they work hard, right, throughout the day, and then whenever she used to take the afternoon nap, I'll just go and I'll wake her up. And so it will irritate her a lot, because she's like, you didn't ask for food when I was asking you, and now that I'm sleeping, I'm taking a nap, you are basically pestering me. And I used to do that for some reason, I don't know, maybe kids love it, right? They love giving hard time to their moms. I'll wake her up constantly, and she would say, how will she say that in Hindi? Let me ask you, Liz. Let me sleep. It's the same way you will say, the previous type of sentences that we covered.
Muchko sona.
Very good, right? Mujhko.
In sona do. Sondo.
Okay. So now only change here is the verb will change to sone. Okay.
Sone.
And we'll cover it. But the point is, my mom will come back to me and mujhko sone do. Okay. Or she will, because I'm younger, very, she'll say mujhko sone de. Because to juniors, you can say, so do is like, when you want to be respectful still somewhat. But when you're really irritated, you will say de. Okay. Mujhko sone de. Okay. So that's how my mom will respond. Mujhko sone de. So hopefully this trick will help you remember, you know, um, when you want to do something. Like similarly, let me eat. How will you say that, Liz?
Muchko kane do.
Very good, right? Awesome. Mujhko khane do. And all you have done is like the verb is khana, you removed the na and you replace that with ne. Mujhko khane do. Now, let me take a pause here. Do you come across scenarios like this in your day-to-day life when when you like, let me just focus and
Yes, let me finish.
let me finish? Okay, very good. What else? Let me finish. So let me let me finish and let me write it down. Let me finish. What else?
It's a long sentence, but let me do something else first.
Okay. Let
So
me
let me go to the store first.
let me go to the store. Let me go to the store. Okay. Can you think of anything else?
Ah, let me compare prices.
Okay. Let me compare prices. Okay. And Vanessa is saying, let me cook, let me shower. Okay. Very good. Okay. Awesome. Right. So let me compare prices. So far, we have good number of sentences. So let's try with first one. Let me finish. How will you say that?
You're saying, let me finish.
Uh-huh.
Muchko finish carne do.
Okay. To finish is khatam karna, right? So you can say, so it's khatam. Khatam karna is to finish. So you will say मुझको खत्म करने दो. Very good. Let's try this one.
Muchke core store jane do.
मुझे store जाने दो. Very good. Um, let's look at the next one. Let me compare prices. Sylvan, you joined a bit late. You want to give it a try?
Oh, I am. I just went out. So I just came to join the class. So
Though no worries. If you want to take time, that's completely fine. But you want to go ahead, Liz?
Ah, acha acha. Muchke compare prices carne do.
Okay. No, try it again. मुझको prices.
Uh-huh.
So you, prices will go before the verb.
Ah, muchko prices compare carne do.
मुझे prices compare करने दो. If you don't know the word for like compare in in Hindi. Okay, let's do. So this one is like I'll go the last. Okay, let me teach. It's basically whenever I'm about to give my Hindi class, my daughter, she's 2 year old and she's like always papa papa. I mean, so she'll just run into the in the class and I feel like मुझको पढ़ाने दो, right? Let me teach, and that's when I want to use this kind of words. So मुझको पढ़ाने. To teach is padhana. To study or to read is padhna, right? So padhane do. So simple rule. You'll remove the. Let me write it somewhere. So see, let me write. मुझको लिखने दो. So the rule is simple. When it comes to verb, you know, you will remove you'll remove the na at the end and you'll replace it with ne. Okay. Now the homework exercise is like uh, just so far we pretty much did everything on may, let me. What about if it is like let him work? Okay, I want you to really focus on other pronouns like let him sleep, let them go, let her let her like shop, all those kind of pronouns. I want you to think about them, at least 10. Okay, and I want you to write them down or in Hindi. Okay, and that will basically give you a lot more confidence that you mastered this topic. We still have time, so I want to do the ninth scenario, and that will be basically I don't think we have covered co in such a comprehensive manner in the last 11 years of the classes. So now the last one, which is like scenario number 9. Um, so in this one, where you want when something is happening to you, okay, um, something is happening. So it's if you think about it, like I'm using ing form of the verb, which basically, which will give you enough indication that the sentences will be in present continuous. Okay, and so naturally there will be use of ho raha hai, right? That's how you, the phrases that, whenever things are happening at the moment, in Hindi it will be ho raha, ho rahi, or ho rahe. Okay, now in English you will not really say, something is happening, to me, like, for example, if you're feeling hungry, you will simply say I'm feeling hungry, right? You will not say that hunger is coming to me. Okay. However, in Hindi, that's how you will be writing it, writing your sentence, that hunger is coming to me. Okay. Or like, fever is coming to me. Um, it may not make sense to you, but that's how the sentences are really structured. Or thirst is coming to me. You know, in Hindi, in English, is straightforward that, I'm feeling thirsty. Uh, So I'll give you one example, okay, and then we'll jump to some more quizzes. So if you remember the verb to feel is lagna, okay. Now really we are talking about lag raha hai. If it is what you're talking about is masculine singular, lag rahi hai. If what you're talking about it's feminine singular, okay. So hunger in general is considered masculine, feminine singular. Okay, feminine singular. So you will say, and let me break it down. You will use your pronoun here, pronoun, and you will say the noun basically in this case, and then you will say um, lag raha hai, lag rahi hai, and it's you're writing it in the present continuous tense. Okay, lag rahi hai. Now this part is sort of clear to you because we are primarily focusing on I here, that I am feeling hungry. So you will say mujhe. Now what is the noun? Noun here is bhook. Okay, and bhook is nothing but hunger. So if you're hungry, mujhe bhook lag rahi hai. So I'll simplify it for you. So this is nothing but to me. Okay, to me. Now noun bhook is nothing but hunger. Okay, lag rahi hai, that in this case is basically feeling. Okay, so don't try to, I mean, just translate one on one, because it may complicate things a little bit more. Okay, in the last class, when you said that I am hungry, you simply said the state of the condition, मैं भूखा हूँ. Okay, some of you tried to use the word lagna, and I told you guys hold on to that. So far you are keeping it very simple, that hunger has come to you, right? So मैं भूखा हूँ, or मैं प्यासा हूँ. Pyasa is thirsty. Okay, that's what we said. We didn't really use the verb lagna or hona, or ana. Okay, in this case we are saying it in a different way. Okay, we are saying it as like, to me hunger is coming, or it's and that's basically in Hindi is like mujhe bhook lag rahi hai. Okay, um, or the other sentence, if you want to say I'm feeling thirsty, you will say mujhe mujhe प्यास लग रही है. Okay, now you want to say I'm feeling cold. Okay, how will you say that? Mujhe, Liz, you want to give it a try? How do you say I'm
हाँ
feeling?
हाँ मुझे ठंड लग रही है.
Very good, right? So thand is
Cold.
very good, right? मुझे ठंड लग रही है. Okay, now you want to say I'm feeling hot. It's June and July, let's say, in India, and you're walking in the streets of Delhi, the first thing you'll say is mujhe.
Is it garmi?
Very good, right? So
Lag rahi hai.
very good. मुझे गर्मी लग रही है. मुझे गर्मी लग रही है. Okay, and that's how you say it. And all of them, like the reason we are saying lag rahi is because garmi, pyas, thand, or bhook, all of them are considered feminine singular. Okay.
How to say
Um,
sleepy?
what else can you say? Let me ask you guys now.
Sleepy.
The
I am
taka
sleepy
for
now.
tired.
Very good, right? So you will say मुझे So if you're tired and you want to say that I'm feeling tired, you'll say मुझे थकान मुझे थकान लग रही है. Right? मुझे थकान लग रही है. थकान.
I am
Anything
sleepy.
else you can think of?
I am sleepy.
And no, but a question. So all of these are rihihe, whether the person saying it is a male or female.
That's right. So it's not really about like. So even if I'm saying it, I'll say मुझे थकान लग रही है. Or even if you are saying it, it's like a थकान लग रही है.
Okay.
Maybe it's also
Acha.
the same way. So it really not doesn't go by your subject, but it's really about like the object. Same way it works for the past indefinite, for name, right? So मुझे थकान लग रही है. What else? Anything else you can think of? People, you feel free to write it down if you want to try it somewhere else.
I am sleepy.
So, Carolina, very good point. How will you say things like sleep is coming to me? Okay, which is what I want to cover now, right? So, you will not say, lag rahi hai in that case, but you will say mujhe neend. Neend is sleep, and then what will be the verb? Liz, sleep is coming to me,
Lag rahi
not lagna.
No?
You're not feeling it. It's coming to you. Coming to come is
Selvin says
very good,
right.
right? Very good.
Anna.
Yeah, awesome. So you'll say मुझे नींद आ रही है. Exactly right, Selvin and Carolina, right? So मुझे नींद आ रही है. What else?
So maybe I'm totally jumping off the track, but it's when you say, when I say to one of my sons, say, you are getting tall, would this also go in here saying, Aapko lambi lag rahi hai?
So you want to say it in English. What do you want to say? You're getting
You are getting tall. You are getting so tall or so big.
so we will cover that right after this. We'll cover that, but you will use hona there. You see, right now we have covered
Acha.
lagna, we are covering ana, and then there are scenarios we will be covering hona.
Okay.
You are getting tall is, I'll hold on to that, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
I want you to feel uncomfortable for some more time, okay? So
Sure.
we'll come back to that.
So it's similar, but not
That's right.
exactly in this.
That's right. It's similar.
Yeah.
The template is similar, okay? Let's continue with Ana. What else? So, boredom is not okay. So you can say मुझे bored लग रहा है. So you're feeling bored. you're feeling bored, so you'll still say that in Hindi, मुझे bored लग रहा है. You can say मुझे बोरियत आ रही है, but it's a mix of Hindi English. um, I think you guys get the point, right? So again, thanks for bringing up the sentence. Basically, the verb is आना here, so that's why you said मुझे नींद आ रही है. Now let's go back to the sentence that that Liz just pointed out, that my son is getting taller, right? So she will say तुम लंबे हो रहे हो, and it's slightly different because it's because you are getting tall, right? You'll say tum lambe, because it's tum, you're ending it with ho. But the idea here is like, this is your lamba, it's basically your height, and then you trying to say hona becomes ho rahe ho. Okay. Let me give you other examples of ho raha, and that will kind of like give you a little bit more clarity. Okay, so let me erase it. So the sentence now is like, the sentence now here is like, मुझे दर्द हो रहा है. Okay, in the last class when we covered it, it was pretty much like मुझे body ache है और मुझे stomach ache है. Simple, I have stomach ache or I have body ache. Now you're saying मुझे दर्द हो रहा है और मुझे सिर दर्द हो रहा है. What does it mean, Liz, when you say मुझे सिर दर्द हो रहा है?
The pain
Mhm.
is becoming pain on you.
Okay. So okay.
I am getting hurt.
Okay. मुझे पेन हो रहा है और मुझे दर्द हो रहा है. I am feeling pain or I am like experiencing pain. Now you can say that I'm still saying feel, right? Why am I not really using lagna here, right? It's a very legitimate question, right? What do you think?
It's hard to explain. I don't know.
Right, so in even a lot of like Hindi songs, you will really see that they'll use that प्यार quite a lot. मुझे प्यार हो रहा है, and प्यार is nothing but love, so they'll say I'm falling in love, or so it's this could be a little bit tricky about like when to use hona, the to be form of the verb, and when to use lagna. Okay, so basically the answer is like unfortunately I have to give the answer that you have to just practice a little bit more, and then you can really, just by making the sentences, you will be able to determine whether it is making sense or not. Okay. So when you say मुझे दर्द हो रहा है, it's, imagine the scenario when you go to the doctor and you're like, doctor is asking you, तुमको क्या हो रहा है? Again, like the doctor is like using the verb होना. Okay, and because it's you, it's like तुम, and then what is happening to you? तुमको क्या हो रहा है? Okay, तुमको क्या हो रहा है? And then you'll say मुझको दर्द हो रहा है. Okay, और मुझको पेट में दर्द हो रहा है. I'm having some stomach pain, or and that's how you'll say it. So really it's about like you if I were to give you a general formula, you fill in the blank here, you leave the blank here. Okay, and you try to practice it using some condition. In your condition could be pain, it could be like abstract noun as like love, or and even if it is confidence, right? मुझको भरोसा हो रहा है. If somebody is giving you confidence, you can say मुझको तुम पर भरोसा हो रहा है. I'm posing or my trust on you. Okay, so um, that's all I had for this particular scenario number 9. Let me see if there are any questions. I can take those questions. So why we don't use lug? Let's see if other people have answers to that. People who learned Hindi as a foreign language. Why don't we use मुझे दर्द लग रहा है? I think that's what you're trying to ask, Carolina. I don't have the straight answer for you, um, but I have to get back to you on that. It's an interesting question, though. Very good, right? So that's Annie. She used a very good example. मुझे समझ आ रहा है, right? So again, like when you are understanding it, right? You can say another example here. मुझे समझ आ and when I'm saying like मेरी बात समझ आ रही है, again this is like I'm gonna go back, pick on my mom again. Like she will constantly mentor me, right? Or tell me something, instructions. And then you can say मुझे बात, and बात is feminine, so then you can say मुझे बात समझ आ रही है. Like it's again like go back to the scenario when you are telling kids something and they ignore it. And especially in this case I can pick on my boy also. They don't clean, right? And he's constantly cutting the papers and making his planet throughout the house, and he doesn't clean up, right? And you're giving him the instructions, and then it to the point that my wife is like, are you getting it? बात समझ आ रही है? And then he can say मुझे बात समझ आ रही है, although बात नहीं समझ आ रही है. Right? But it's a good example of how to use like similar example. मुझे नींद आ रही है, मुझे बात समझ आ रही है. So let me see if there are any other. Okay. So as far as like this 9 scenarios are concerned, that's all I have. It's almost time, so thank you so much for folks who joined using all the mediums, social media. I think there are some more questions, but I'll take them offline. Thanks again for your time. Have a good rest of the Sunday. Okay. Give me just 1 minute, and then I'm gonna see if Liz, you have any questions there. So I'm gonna stop the broadcast here.